When he turned his back from shoulder to shoulder, it looked like as wide as the tailgate of a truck.
And just darkness, literal darkness, just came like all over, just all over me except where I was standing.
This thing let out the most blood-curdling, mind-blowing, spine-tingling scream that you've ever heard in your life, and it cut through me like a knife.
And I knew that they were going to take me. I just knew it. And then the next thing I can remember is being levitated.
Well, when I look in there, I see two big eyes staring back at me.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Bump Podcast, a place for the believers of the unexplained, monsters, and paranormal. Join us, and we'll go face to face with what goes bump in the night. Hey there, believers. I got a great episode for you today. I was checking my emails, and this one kind of shocked me. I got an email from Trent University out in Canada, and they have a Sasquatch Society at the university. It's 162 members strong, and they reached out to me about being on the show, about talking about what they do and their research, and it just blew my mind. Thrilled me, for one, that they reached out to my show. So that's who we're talking to today. We're going to bring on a couple representatives. I don't know their names yet. I don't know what members are coming on. They actually signed off their email with the society, which felt even cooler, I'll be honest. But whoever I'm talking to today, I'm going to bring them on soon. And they left a list of articles. This group has been around for a while, and I'm just gonna bring them on the show and let them take off with it. I'm super excited about it. I love to see that this younger generation is taking off with Bigfoot and Sasquatch research, and not all countries treat it like America does. I feel like countries like Canada, they take this a little more seriously, give it a little bit more cred than what a lot of time you'll see here in America, which is odd. We share a continent, but hey, it is what it is. I'm just glad to have them on here. Super excited about this episode. So I'll shut up and I'll bring them on. Whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Ryan Willis, president and founder of the Trent Sasquatch Society. And I'm here today to talk to you guys about the work we're doing in Bigfoot. Happy to be here.
Awesome, Ryan. Well, I'm glad to have you, and I appreciate you for reaching out to me, man. When I saw that a university in Canada was, interested in being on the show, I was so happy. I ran in the living room and told my wife about it. I was like, "This is so cool."
Well, that's awesome.
So you founded the society?
Yeah, I did. Me and a few friends of mine. So I'm the president and founder. I guess not the only founder, but yeah, there's a few of us up at the top of it running everything, and it's been really cool.
Awesome. Well, tell me what made you start it?
I've always had just a super huge interest in Bigfoot and other paranormal cryptid stuff too, but Bigfoot especially. Bigfoot's been really huge for me. Like over the years growing up, I'd always watch Finding Bigfoot and do tons of research in my spare time, and I put together, I guess, a bigger knowledge of it. And then when I got to university, I met a friend. Still great friends and everything, and run the club together. But and he has a big interest in it too. So we got talking about maybe going out and doing some night investigations out in the woods near the school, and So we got doing that, and then we had some other people come along with us, and it kind of got bigger. And we thought, hey, why don't we turn this into an actual registered school club? And that's what we did. And then from there, it kind of got, I guess, bigger than we ever could have imagined, really. Because I'm sure, yeah, like you said, you've seen the articles and stuff, and it's great because like it's not just people with Bigfoot, who already had an interest that hear about us and are getting involved. It's people that weren't aware of the subject, heard about the outreach, and then came join the club, and now have a really big interest in everything we're doing, and do research of their own. There's students that at the start of the school year, like Bigfoot to them was just oh, that's silly. I've never, that's not real. There's no evidence there. And then join the club, and now by the end of the year, have a tremendous Bigfoot knowledge and go out and do research on their own, and really believe in all the evidence and everything the researchers have told us over the school year. So it's just been really cool seeing people get into it that way.
I love it. I love it. So tell me, Ryan, what kind of researchers have you gotten in contact with?
I don't know if you've heard of, have you ever heard of Matt Moneymaker from Finding Bigfoot? I assume you have. Yeah,
Of course,
yeah, you
yeah.
must have.
Yeah,
That's probably that's.
I've met him. Yeah.
Yeah. So him, Cliff from Finding Bigfoot too, Todd Standing, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, yeah, and tons of other really great researchers too. And like one of the things about it that kind of surprised me too, like we've talked to a few like PhDs now and stuff, and a lot of like very academic people are really involved in this, and I think it's just something that kind of goes along with all the research we talked about in the club, and obviously outside of the club and everything, that yeah, is so impressive to us. And yeah, I think it just goes to back up that there really is a real animal here that we're dealing with. And yeah, it's just been super cool to hear from yeah, those people who have such a good handle on it and so much knowledge that we get to learn from.
Absolutely. All right. So let me ask, what's the overarching, like, your mission statement or like your goal with the society? Have you gone that far yet? Has it reached that point where you have a clear defined goal?
Yeah, I mean, with the society itself, I'd say our main mission within the society is to educate our members and give them the skills and the tools to go out and conduct their own Bigfoot research, and have just a great knowledge and learn like about anything in the Bigfoot world they want to know about. And that's what we've been able to do. We've had researchers from tons of different points of views, and a lot of them even have contradicting points of views and things like that. But we just have whoever this here from, we're fortunate enough to get come out and talk to them, and we let the students make up their own mind. And even a lot of the students have contradictory views on what Sasquatch even is, but it's great though, because like everyone in the club's super respectful with each other, and just listens to what everyone has to say. But then outside of the club, we have a much bigger goal, which is to spread Sasquatch research in the academic community. We've kind of been calling it the academic Sasquatch movement. And we've actually had a success in doing that now with not just our university starting to get involved, but I've talked to students at some other universities that have an interest in starting a club like ours. And yeah, so they're in the process of getting people put together, societies like our own at their universities. So that's coming along nicely, and I think that's a huge step in growing Sasquatch research, is getting the academic community involved, because just so many people don't know about all the great scientific evidence. And I think just a for me personally, just running this club and then seeing like so many of our students who, are in sciences and I guess everything they kind of believe about Bigfoot in terms of like, believing in the existence and everything has kind of come from talking with researchers about, the scientific research and evidence and everything. And then seeing their minds change has been really cool because it's I guess kind of, I'd say developing the next generation of Sasquatch researchers, which is really important. And then, obviously getting the research behind it is huge. So yeah, it's been that's our mission to answer your question.
Awesome.
But yeah, and then obviously to find a Sasquatch too. But yeah, so all that's what we're trying to do, and it's been going really well. So
I love it, man. I love that you guys are taking this seriously, and that because in America, it's still in most of America, it's still like a lot of gimmicky kind of, people don't really believe in Sasquatch. So I think that Canada takes a different approach to it. It seems like it's much more accepted there. And here we share a continent. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
there's barely there's no difference between territories here, but the view is a lot different. And you mentioned some really standout people there. With Matt Moneymaker, Cliff, Todd Standing. I love what Todd Standing has done. He is received a little bit as a controversial figure. But I love all the effort and everything that he's put into this. And from hearing just the names mentioned, it sounds like maybe the society, I don't know if you have an official stance, but do you guys view Sasquatch as a biological creature, or do you view it as something else, or do you just let people, come into it whatever view they want to have?
We let people come into the club with whatever view they want to have, and because obviously until there's a specimen in a lab somewhere that scientists have studied and reviewed, we don't know for sure, obviously, right? So for us, until there's something super concrete, we don't have answer one way or another. But I'd say most of the club is under the belief Sasquatch is a biological animal, and at least for myself, that's I'm pretty traditionalist, you could say.
Okay.
But we have other students with different beliefs, and so it's pretty interesting because everyone's kind of bringing in different research, and people they want us to reach out to and stuff, and luckily now with all the outreach we're doing, a lot of researchers come to us, which is really cool.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. It makes our job so much easier.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people are pretty hard to like get in touch with. But yeah, so it's been really neat that way. But yeah, and then like you were saying, with getting it taken more seriously, and how down in the States it's a bit more gimmicky. I think he said even like here we're on the east side of Canada, and here in Ontario, I would say actually kind of like a taboo, like you said, gimmicky kind of subject, and that's something we're trying to change. Like what I've heard from a lot of researchers is like out on the West Coast, because there's so many more sightings, that it's taken a lot more seriously out there, and people kind of accept it more. But here in Ontario, it's in Quebec and the eastern provinces, it's quite not taken seriously at all. But luckily we're I feel we're slowly changing that, and yeah, it's really important for us. And yeah.
Well, yeah, I think you're right too, with you guys taking this approach, and you're making it like it's okay for you to talk about it. That makes it more comfortable for other people to come out and talk about it. So the more we speak about these things, the more awareness there is, the more comfortable people are with sharing their own experiences. Because I've had several people laugh when I tell them what kind of podcast I have. And then when it's just me and them, they're like, okay, well, I got to tell you about this one time, I had rocks thrown at me while I was hunting. It's once they feel comfortable and that they won't be laughed at, they'll open up and share. And that's a service that you guys are doing. it's opening up that platform. And I think you're doing an awesome thing right now.
Yeah, no, thanks. I'm glad you think so. And yeah, like you said, now that we've kind of created all this, and like a lot of people in the Bigfoot community, and just in Canada now with all the news outreach, have like heard about us and come forward with their stories and report. Like we get a lot of reports. Like a lot of my days now are just I'm on the phone with like witnesses and stuff talking about things that have happened to them. And if anyone listening wants to report anything or get in touch with us, we have a website now, sasquatchuniversity.com.
Awesome.
You can go there and get in touch with us that way if you've had anything going on, or your researcher or just want to talk to us. But but it's been really cool to hear about people's experiences, because when we kind of made the club, and we do go out fairly often to do investigations at night and stuff like that, but we never really had any idea of where to go. Like where our school is, Trent, is in Peterborough, Ontario, and it's kind of all like farm country and stuff out there. Like there are forested areas, right, but there's not even too many bears or anything that live in them. And a lot of researchers, I think Dr. Jeff Meldrum actually told us probably there's 1 or 2 Sasquatch for every 200 black bears. Is like kind of a good way to view it. And there's not even too many black bears in those areas close to Peterborough. So I've always impression, it's good for us to be doing research and have any real success until we went further north, which is actually something we're starting to do now that it's summertime. But I was kind of wrong in terms of according to what people have been reporting to me, that are just locals who've heard about us through the news and stuff, and reach out and say, this has happened to me here. And a lot of them are in places I wouldn't really have expected, but are still, sufficient forest and stuff, and well enough that, and they do sustain bears and things. There's just not many of them. But so that's been really interesting for us, and it's given us, good places to go investigate now, which is another cool thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I love that people in the area are coming out to you and sharing their stories. Do you, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, so if not, I can just edit this part out. But do you have any favorite stories that you've heard around, since you started doing this? Is there anything that stands out to you?
I guess most of them line up with kind of typical Sasquatch behavior. Like most of it's stuff I'm sure anyone that's into Bigfooting and reading reports and in watching witness interviews and stuff has already heard. There's nothing too crazy like the ones where it's like, oh, he broke into my house, or he's looking in my windows and stuff. A lot of it's like we had some rocks thrown, or I see them in the distance and things like that. We've had some interesting ones where people have seen them in the same type of area, like a few times, or had activity a few times. But like those are probably the more compelling ones to me. Not that they've had it happen more than once. I mean, on it, like some of the research, if they have had activity a few times, that's kind of a bad sign in terms of what, because it's, to see a Sasquatch is a pretty rare thing.
Right.
These are obviously super rare and intelligent, elusive animals. So to say you've seen one like 10 times in your backyard, it's kind of like, well, have you? But maybe they have. But that's our job to check out. But the interesting ones for me are the ones that happen in really remote areas where there's not really human contact or anything, because and that's where we get some of these reports. We've been getting ones from further north in Ontario where it's really pretty remote in a lot of northern Ontario. Like I don't know if I kind of I tell the students in the club sometimes a kind of a cool way to check out neat areas. If you go on I don't know if you have Snapchat or whatever, there's a thing called the Snap Map, and you can posting on it, and it kind of has there's kind of like bright orange areas or red with you can see where like kind of population density is based on where people are posting things.
Nice.
But a cool thing is you go into northern Canada and stuff, you see that like there's just no one there. But it's neat because we get reports that are saying like I'm way out in the middle of nowhere, and this has happened to me a few times, and they're the only humans out there. So that's, stuff like that's probably the more interesting ones for me, because I think in areas where maybe Sasquatches are more exposed to humans and need to conceal themselves some more, like other animals, you don't have ones that are as comfortable maybe frequenting spots humans would come into contact with Sasquatch with,
Right.
if that makes sense. Like you probably not in place twice, because obviously they have to conceal themselves. So I think in places like Southern Ontario, a lot of those sightings are a bit more by chance. But if you go to more remote areas where they've obviously, there's maybe one human that's in and out of there that they have to hide from and they're comfortable living in, that Sasquatch doesn't have to move around and be as careful. So to me, that's kind of a good jumping off point in terms of where we should be focusing our efforts in terms of field work.
Awesome. Yeah, man. I agree with you 100% too. Okay. I only have really one or two more questions. And if there's anything else you want to add, we can definitely keep going. But let me just ask, when you're doing this field research, what kind of practices do you have? Are you staying out overnight? Are you beating on trees? Because that seems to work for a lot of people. Or do you take a more laid back, like just sit around and camp with a little fire? Or what do you guys do?
That's a good question. And, right now, unfortunately, we don't have too much funding at the moment. So we don't have any, proper thermal imaging equipment and stuff. We're trying to change that. We now have like merchandise and stuff. If you can go to the website, you can check out. So we're hoping the Bigfoot community will kind of get behind us that way.
Yes.
And we'll be able to get some proper equipment to conduct our field work with. But yeah, so but right now we've been going out and doing like tree knocks and things and howls and kind of waiting and listening, seeing where we hear things, and then but a lot of it now is kind of going to spots where we've had witnesses say they've heard or seen something, or there's been footprints found, and trying to focus on areas where maybe like a few of those things have happened close to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously that's a sign that there's something actively living there. So that's something we try to focus on. But yeah, we usually it's always at night when we go and do like a proper investigation. We usually don't sleep over. We usually just drive back very late in the morning. But yeah, that's usually what we do.
Wow, fantastic. Yeah, that was one of my questions. Was I actually have it written down here. Funding. How do you guys keep going? And I got another question on here for merch, because I love merch. So if you direct me to the website, I will probably be buying some merch here shortly.
That's great.
So how about go ahead and do that? If you don't mind, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. There's gonna be some researchers, I'm sure, that'll listen to this, like Dr. Russ Jones. They'll probably be listening. There's a few other podcasters that'll probably be reaching out to you too. So tell people how they can get a hold of you personally, how they can get a hold of the society, where they can go to buy this merch. Just anything you want to say, any kind of app or social media that you get into, let us hear it.
Yeah, we have social media on all the major platforms. If you just type in Trent University Sasquatch Society, we should come up pretty easy. Yeah, there's only one, so it's not too hard to find. But I'd say the best way to find everything is going to sasquatchuniversity.com. It's kind of the organization we're forming outside of the university, so that we have kind of one place that not just researchers, but anyone interested and the other universities getting involved can kind of all come to one place and find everything. So it's obviously the best place to get in touch with us and find everything we're doing. You can just through there too. And we even have a YouTube channel now with all of our, sorry, I think or a little mosquito by me. Yeah, we have a channel now with all of our lectures that the experts come and talk to us about. So we have our first video just got put up last week, but we have a few more that are about to come out either today or tomorrow. With the first one was Todd Standing, but we have one with Dr. Meldrum that's about to come out, and one with two other great, not as well known researchers, but hopefully after that maybe they'll people will see what they're up to, which is really cool. So I'm excited for people to check that out, because we get a ton of emails just from people that hear about us on the news, social media, and they say, can I come to the club meeting? And obviously if they're not a university student, I let them, unless they're speaker or whatever. But but we've now been doing it all in a way that we're able to record the meeting, and people can come check out and hear everything that's said. So I'm excited for people to check that out, because there's some really cool stuff talked about in those meetings that I think a lot of people want to hear. So yeah, just go to sasquatchuniversity.com and you can find everything.
Awesome, Ryan. Thank you so much. I'll be doing all of that. You'll be seeing some stuff from me, I'm sure. Man, it's been great talking to you. Is there anything else that you want to get into that we didn't cover yet?
I suppose not, unless you had anything, but I'd just say, if you're a researcher listening, or even just want to get in touch with us or witness, please do. We love hearing from everybody. In contact with. So yeah, you can just find us through the website, and everything's right there. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, there's a lot more cool stuff to come very soon that yeah, I'll be getting posted around a lot of the Bigfoot world in a day or two once we have the next few videos out. Yeah, it'll be getting shared with a lot of people. So I think it'll be a cool place for people to come and check out what we're learning. So yeah, I'm excited for all that. And thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for coming on, and I'll be sure to share this on all my social media too. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put the video up as soon as I can. So thank you so much for coming on, Ryan. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks so much for having me. And yeah, if you ever want us back, we're here anytime. So
yes, absolutely. And as soon as you find Bigfoot, holler at me so we can talk about it on the show. Okay.
Yeah, hopefully very soon.
Yes, sir. You have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Thanks, brother.